Welcome to Night Transmission. You didn't mean to find this broadcast, but now that you have, you may want to stay tuned. These are cinematic horror stories, pulled from the edge of reality. New transmissions are sent regularly. Tonight's signal is strong, and it's not alone. This is After Hours.
I used to think the building was quieter after dark, but not empty. Never empty. There's a hum to a place like this, the kind you only notice when everything else stops. The lights buzz like they're thinking. The walls creak like they're remembering. And if you stay long enough, you begin to hear the breathing. Soft, beneath everything. I had no reason to be there. Not really. I told myself I left something behind. Keys, maybe. Or my badge. Or maybe I just didn't want to go home. The lobby was lit like always. That awful white glow, meant to feel clean. It never does. Just cold. The security desk was unattended. No guard. Just a rotating fan and a blinking screensaver. Oryx Systems. Innovate together. I took the elevator to 27. The lights dimmed as it climbed. One floor after another falling away below me. The air changed somewhere around 18, like something stale had been sealed inside the walls too long. When the doors opened, the hallway was dark. Not pitch black, just underlit. Like someone had turned the building down but not off. Every office was closed, every monitor still glowing. Someone had left a cup of coffee on the copier, still warm. I didn't touch it. I passed the break room. Someone had written on the whiteboard in red, "Remember what HR said." There was a smell I couldn't place. Sweet. Wrong. I opened the fridge without thinking. Inside was a plastic container labeled, "Do not open." I opened it anyway. I don't know why. The mold was black and blooming, thick. But underneath, there was a badge. Daniel Morris. Compliance. I left the break room quickly. That's when I heard the cough. Not loud, just sharp, like someone holding back. From one of the offices behind me. But when I looked, the room was empty. The chair still spinning slightly. Under the desk, 2 shoes, perfectly placed. On the screen, a blinking cursor. On the desk, a note. Let them go home. It's already too late. The elevator chimed behind me. I turned. Empty. But the lights were wrong inside, flickering like they were underwater. I should have left. I know that now. But instead, I opened the stairwell. It shouldn't have let me in. I didn't have clearance, but it clicked open anyway. Inside, only emergency lighting. Blue and white, and too bright. The stairwell led down, but not to any floor I remembered. No signs, no doors, just a descent. I reached the bottom. It opened into an office floor I'd never seen. Rows and rows of cubicles, hundreds, identical, each seat filled. Men and women in business attire, sitting perfectly still, facing monitors that glowed with static. They didn't move. At first I thought they were wax figures, some kind of twisted office installation, but no. Their clothes were rumpled. Some were breathing, shallow, others not. One screen flickered to life, just static, no login, no input. Then another, and another. The light from the monitors was the only thing moving in that room. I took a step forward, and that's when the first one blinked. Not startled, not curious. Just a slow, dead blink. Like muscle memory. The air in that place. It was different, thicker, not humid, not dry, just wrong. Like someone else had exhaled every breath before I got there. There was a sound, low and grinding. It came from beneath the floor. I could feel it in my feet before I could hear it. A vibration, like gears turning in concrete. I backed away. I didn't know where the stairwell had gone. Behind me, just wall. No door, no exit. I ran down a row of cubicles. Their heads turned as I passed, slowly, like sunflowers. No one stood, but their eyes followed. All of them, unblinking. I found another elevator. The lights were off, but the button lit up when I pressed it, down only. The doors opened onto floor 0. I stepped into something that used to be a lobby. The ceiling had collapsed. Plants had overgrown the front desk, but the lights were still on. Above me, a scrolling LED readout. Wellness Initiative, Phase 4. Desks had been cleared. In the corner, a line of IV poles, empty bags, each tagged with a sticky note, personal growth, do not remove. There were bodies here, but they weren't still. Some were walking in slow loops, around desks, around chairs. One was bumping repeatedly into a wall, gently, like she didn't know how to stop. I kept moving. I passed a training room, the projector still flickering. PowerPoint slides, automated. Empathy and conflict, recalibrating difficult employees. There were restraints on the chairs. One of the cubicles was full of black growth, like the mold from the fridge, but worse, pulsing slightly, breathing. Something moved inside it. I didn't stay to find out what. I found someone, real, breathing, moving normally. She wore an Oryx badge clipped to a suit stained with something. Her eyes were bloodshot, but sharp. "Which wave are you?" she asked. I didn't answer. She tilted her head. "Still adjusting. It's okay. You'll remember soon." She handed me a key card. Level 2. She didn't follow. The elevator to do 2 had no floor buttons, just a blank panel. But when the doors closed, it started moving, and didn't stop. I don't know how far down I went. When it opened, I was in a server room. Rows of blinking lights, whirring machines, but there was no heat. It was cold, very cold. In the center of the room, a chair. Strapped into it, another person, eyes wired open. A screen in front of him flashed phrases over and over. "Meet your deadline. Be the deadline. Become the system." He didn't blink. I turned to leave. That's when I heard the others. Footsteps. Not fast, not slow, just steady. Dozens of them, in unison. I ran. I don't know how I found the ventilation shaft. Maybe it was always there. Maybe the building wanted me to see it. I crawled through ductwork lit only by flashing red. Some of the tunnels were wet, not from condensation, from something else. I heard whispers, not in my ears, in my head. Promotion is survival. Survival is purpose. I dropped out into an office, one I knew. Floor 27. My floor. The lights were off now, but the monitors were still glowing. The coffee was still warm. Only one thing was different. All 5 desks were empty, except for mine. There was a sticky note on my keyboard. "Ready for your next evaluation?" The building hummed. Behind me, I heard the elevator doors open. The elevator closed behind me. Soft click. No button panel, no music, just motion. I couldn't feel it rising or falling. I wasn't sure it was moving at all. Then, light. Too bright. The doors opened. I was back in the lobby, but not the same lobby. Everything was cleaner, newer, or maybe older. I couldn't tell. The floor gleamed. The plants were plastic. At the desk, a receptionist I didn't recognize looked up and smiled. "Congratulations," she said. "You've been promoted." She handed me a badge. It had my name, my photo, and a new title. In quote, Evaluator, Class 3. She pointed behind me. Double glass doors opened into a room I hadn't seen before. A long hallway, brightly lit. The hum of machinery somewhere distant. I walked through. Inside were workstations. Dozens of them. Empty, except for one. A man sat motionless, eyes fixed on a screen. He looked just like the ones in the sub-basement. But this time, he was watching footage, security footage, of me, walking through the building, looking into rooms, he said, opening doors I shouldn't have opened. On the screen, I watched myself turn toward the camera, my own face, staring back. But in the reflection, something behind me, something tall, out of focus, something I never saw. The man at the monitor whispered, "They always make it this far. That's how the loop closes." I stepped back. The hallway had no door now, just smooth wall. A voice came from the ceiling. "Beginning evaluation. New candidate inbound." Another monitor blinked to life. A new person, entering the lobby, looking confused, asking questions. I watched them swipe their badge. Activation confirmed. Wave 87. I ran, not toward anything, just away. The hallways changed, desks rotated, doors dissolved. A corridor folded into another like origami. I came to a glass wall. On the other side, another version of the building. A mirror, but not a reflection. A room where 5 people sat at computers, working, typing, smiling. The same 5 I saw that first night. But now I noticed, one of them was me. Not like me. Me. Down to the shirt I'd worn last week. He looked up, right at me. I slammed my hand against the glass. No sound. He smiled, and went back to typing. Then, behind him, the others slowly turned their heads. Then, each one wore my face. The room went dark. Then, only one screen stayed lit. "You're ready now." I don't know how long I wandered. There's no time in here. No clocks, no exits, just movement. Eventually, I found the room again. The beginning room, break room, coffee. And a voice, mine, whispering back, "Thank you for completing your orientation." I stepped forward. The screen fades to black. A corporate interface loads. White text on black. Oryx Systems. Innovate together. Loading evaluation cycle 88. Candidate arriving. Testing traits. Obedience, awareness, endurance.
You were never meant to make it out. You were only meant to see how far you'd go before breaking. Oryx will begin the next evaluation shortly. Don't worry, they'll never remember you were here. This has been a night transmission.